CHICKEN. Use the code CHICKEN in the shop.
Hey guys, the Chicken is here. We're back to another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, we're going to go over what you need to know for the last day of Warships. We got some new attack strategies for you that have been working pretty well. Just want to make sure that audio... I was having some problems with my audio the other day. You can turn the game sound down just a smidgen. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And big shout out to those of you guys that have been using that code CHICKEN in the shop. It does help to support and all that good stuff. What do we got in the shop today? So I think my next video, after we get a break from these mega seasons, is going to be about the Boom Pass. I'm going to try to finish it, and we got some work to do because I have been ignoring that greatly. So hopefully you guys are not in the same boat as Chicken, because how much longer do we have on it? We have a week left. We got a week left to complete all this stuff. When using hero only. Okay. So let's dive into it. So happy to say we were able to make rank 22 last night, mostly in part to this base. This base was huge, and once I added the DBD to it, then we started cooking. Now, we still had to attack very well. This season has really been all about attacking. It's been a totally offensive season in terms of, I know it's been fizzly, but, you know, everyone's had the same tech, right? So, So take a quick screen grab of that if you want a base for your final push. The front-loaded ones have worked. The spread ones also work. You kind of just got to mess around with a few of them and see what works for you. But yeah, so not the, you know, it wasn't the cleanest push to 22, but we did get the job done. So I don't know if we're parked right now or not either. We'll see. I mean, there's no, it doesn't matter. Like, everyone's going to have the same tech anyways, so there's no tech advantage we're missing out on by waiting. So let's take a look here. So here's the tech that I used to at least get to 22. And you guys were following along. We unlocked the double cannons the other day. That helped at 6 ERs. And it's good at 7 too. Just get more defensive buildings on the warship, on the map, on the base. Get more defenses, get more buildings on the base, slow them down. Gunboat energy, also very, very helpful. So if you haven't unlocked the early gunboat energy for 28 keys, make sure that you do that. And then we have the choice of going artillery and barrage. So lots of options, lots of different ways to go. We could also get these mines here, but when you go 7, I would say make sure you can at least get to the DBD, because that's when 7 becomes good. Otherwise, you know, the troop health is very good for taking down 60 Rs, but everyone's going to be 70 R now. So having just the shock blaster and the grappler and the troop health, it's, I don't know. What was happening for me anyways, when I went 7 without the DBD, I was just constantly matching players with the DBD, and I was always like 10 seconds slower just because they, you know, inevitably kill more heavies and bombers. So it was very tough to compete without the DBD. Now, I will say, going to 7, grappler, and shock blaster, it's probably better than staying at 6 right now because everyone's going to have the troop health. So it might be, you know, kind of a necessary evil to go and do that. The good news is it won't take too long. I mean, it's like, what, 2-3 chests at Diamond to get everything at 70 R, maybe even less than that. But yeah, so in terms of backfilling, let's talk about that for a second. I think what makes sense, I think the artillery and barrage make a lot of sense, especially on those spread bases, because without artillery and barrage, you have to free clear the sky shield bases, right? And in an attack meta where it's all about time, that's not what you want. So let's dive into some hits. Let's see if we got any good ones here. A couple guys did fizzle on this base, actually, which was nice. Actually, a lot of them did, damn. Let's just show you my last hit. This one was sick. This was just perfect. So this base was really tough. It was the first base I've seen like this. So the front-loaded bases are tricky. And this one was worse because he had the mines here and had a sky shield way back there. So the whole thing, I think where he messed up was he put this stuff too far back. If he had the same base, move those things forward. Because the way you want these to go, which is exactly how this one went, you want all of your troops to split if they all follow the same road, like if they all start here and they just go all the way down here and then go up here and then go over here, you're going to get like a 110 time. Like it's a very, very slow way of attacking. And that's all we're trying to do with these bases is just slow down the opponent, right? So here's how I started this one off. So we went 4-4 heavy chopper bomber. And you notice I put the flare out first. That's because it saves me a little bit of time to shock stuff. So if we just let these heavy choppers go here, there's so much front-loaded damage, single target stuff, that we're going to lose almost all of them. So to get around that, we make sure that we flare down to keep the bombers back from the mortar too. Flare first, then drop the troops, then we shock stuff. So now we're hitting the Doom Cannon, now we're hitting the shock launcher and the cannon, and then we can throw some pretty good value critters out there because most of the other stuff is shock. And you see right there, even with that, we have 3 of our heavy choppers are almost at half health. So you got to be very, very careful on these landings. What I like to do on these front-loaded bases is spend a ton of GB on the landing. Just get them in a good position, because if you screw up the landing, the whole attack is done. Sure, it's nice to have shocks later on, but really all you need to do is just keep everybody alive, and the heavy choppers will do a fine job of that. And you might have to flare to split them. Now, again, I got lucky here because they split perfectly on their own, which almost never happened. This is also my best time by far on a front-loaded base, which was nice because it was a boss fight. Again, typically the opposite of what happens. But look at this. So now, at this point, since his rockets are so far down, the troops just naturally split that way, so then they're going to go over to that engine, and then these guys are going to do a great job of killing the stuff over here. So then all we have to worry about is that one at the back with the sky shield. That's the only thing that's going to be a problem for us. And you want to make sure that these guys on the right side, that they're moving quickly, because if they're slowly like struggling, like walking through the base, what's going to happen is you're going to have buildings up here, and then these guys are going to come up that way rather than go down and clear that engine. So obviously that didn't happen here, but just something to keep in mind. I shocked that blaster because I felt like some of the bombers were getting close to the edge there. Just kind of a Hail Mary critter there to get that stupid boom cannon off of us. And here's what I mean. So if we had cleared this top side, faster, then it's going to force the left side down. And that's what ended up happening. We were just barely able to do that. So you see, this is perfect scenario. We've got them on both engines almost. And then the sky shield's going down. We're flaring. We're gun-hoing. And I don't have any GB or anything to help bring the engine down. But boom. There it is, and that was my best time. That was my best time on that base, and I think you're going to see a lot of those bases. I believe this guy was a spread. No, he was a cluster too. So same thing for the most part. I actually delayed a heavy chopper here just because this landing was so disgusting with the Doom Cannon and so many boom cannons right there. I'll play it in 4-speed because it's essentially the same thing. Careful about the Simo, especially when they're front-loaded. They will wreck your bombardiers if you're not careful. So this base was a little bit different. So we didn't get the split here. I forget if I tried to force it. Yeah, so I force flared, and I felt like that would allow them to get into a better spot. And what I wanted to do is I wanted them to split left and right here, but then that wasn't going to happen. So I kind of messed this one up. Went as fast as we could, and then we just got lucky because he fizzled. So I'll take that every single day of the week. Bald Quokka? What was he doing? So another front-loaded. We'll play a little bit at the start here. So same thing. And a lot of guys fizzled on my base. I don't know why, but this guy didn't have the 100 DBD though, so that was huge. You see the landing wasn't nearly as rough, and we've got troops kind of going in the right directions. I don't know if they split here on their own. We were kind of... I think if you're going to flare, you got to do it early. That would probably make sense, actually, now that I think about it, is clear this stuff here. Do like a mid-flare right there, and then you're off to the races. Because what you don't want to have happen is you don't want to be in the middle like I did in that last hit, then flare back down. That's just going to waste time. So I want to find a spread base. Ace, maybe? Yeah, so these ones, what I found the best way to hit them was... Now, this guy's got everything. He's got the 6 rockets. He's got the 150 DBD. He's got all the protos and the sky shield. And here's what I found to work. On the sky shield side, I would go 3-3, and then on the other side, I'd go 1-1. And just make sure that these 3 bombers stay alive, because that mortar can sneak up on you if you're not careful. So then we go 3-3. We're just free clearing. I like to shock the Doom Cannon a couple times. The biggest help on these spread bases I found was don't waste all your GB in the beginning, because you're going to need it when they go in the corners. These bases are designed to pull your bombers in like this and then have all the defenses like on the outside killing them, right? So the idea is by the time you get to the middle, then they're going to flare out nicely. So you want to be able to shock kind of more so around this point now, like right there on those rockets, because those are the rockets that are going to ruin you. Opposed to, you know, just repeatedly shocking the Doom Cannon, which is what I was doing before. And that didn't really end up saving us much time. Man, I butchered this hit too. Oh yeah, I was mad here. I was sure that we lost this one. But faith in the base sometimes, it's all you need. So there we go, critters, and then, yeah, thankfully they did enough damage on that one. We didn't have to walk all the way back. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Now, in terms of cutoffs and the leaderboards, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, we're at like low 200s, 243. It's moving fairly quickly. So I don't know. It just depends. It just depends. We'll watch it over the next couple days. I can't give you a guaranteed cutoff. I think low 22 will probably be around the mark, but there's still a lot of time left, so remains to be seen. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your final weekend pushing plans for this season, and then that is it, guys, for the mega season. We're back on to normally scheduled warships. Thank you, God. And yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you the next one. Check it out. Bear.